Yeah, so fantastic. I think we can probably start as people come in. That's gonna just let that fill up on its own. But it's great to see all of you guys here. So thank you guys for joining in for this AMA. Hello, Maha community, everyone. Nice to see all of you guys again. I think this has been almost a month or so since we all sort of got into a video AMA or sort of an AMA since a while. So excited to have all of you guys here with us. And I'll just set the agenda of this AMA today. So very clearly, it is an AMA for the Maha community and the Forward team. So over here we have Mitch, Kartiki, and Billy. So the entire C-level team of Forward. What they're going to do is they're going to talk to us about what they have done over the last couple of months, quarters. It's been over a year since we launched them on MahaStarter, and they'll share with us updates, what they've been working on. So that's going to be the first. The first half of this call is going to be about introduction. So they'll do an introduction, then we do a bit of like progress updates, what they've been working on, and stuff like that. And then we take over to questions that the community has about different things, whatever you guys have. So with respect to questions, guys, just to let you know, I would filter the questions. So feel free to drop them in the Telegram chat so we can sort of filter them, go through them, and then ask Mitch Key and Billy these questions live. The entire thing, I hope, should take 30 to 45 minutes. It can go longer, who knows? As long as all these guys have energy, we will continue with the AMA. But yeah, fantastic. Thank you guys for joining in. And let's go ahead and start. So
thanks so much for having us, Stephen. It's really great to be chatting with you two guys.
Oh yeah, likewise. Pleasure is mine. It was great to meet you in Dubai as well, Mitch. So it's good to see you again after some time. But yeah, I'm excited to have all of you guys in, and let's have some fun.
Very happy to be here in this AMA with the community after a while now. So super excited. First, Steve, can you also make Danai as a speaker? She's not able to get in. So right now we have with us, as you know, myself and Mitch as the co-founders. We have Danai, who is the product manager, and Billy, who is our CTO. So Danai is, just to give you a little more light on that. So Danai has been the product manager from the start, working through the whole ecosystem, partnerships, getting everything in place, streamlined, and holding the ship tight to progress at all times. So she's always in touch with every integration partner and everyone building in our ecosystem to ensure that the objectives are consistently met. So here we have Danai, and say hi.
Hi everyone. It's great to be joining you here today.
That's
amazing. And we have Billy. Billy has been Billy is a CTO who is really an expert on the blockchain development areas, not only the dApp and smart contracts, but he's qualified to actually get blockchains up and running from ground up, which is something that he has done for many years, not just in the recent days, which is most important part with what we are building at Forward. And Billy is also experienced with the AI portion, which is an major area that is coming into focus in the recent years. So Billy brings the experience on the hands-on tech part to both the Web 2 and Web 3 technology areas. I will let Billy add a few words about himself as well to introduce himself to you.
Basically, I've had a experience in a lot of chains before, but as well as AI markets, as I have to develop a lot of fintech. And I appreciate working on Forward protocol, and there's a lot that I'm excited about what we're working on at the moment. So I'm keen to see what we produce at the end of the day.
Amazing. So I just want to quickly jump on to giving some updates here. But before we do that, what I want to highlight is that the updates and what you're going to be seeing here is the first time. It's exclusive to MahaDao community because we have not shared this in public to anyone else. We have showed this to institutions, to important integration partners and chains as we work with them in getting this live, but we have never put any of this public, and this is the first exclusive place where all the insights and live demo is going to be shared today. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, so I actually have a few things to add here. So thank you, Key, for sharing this to the Maha community and the Maha holders. Is fantastic. And we know, of course, that it's been a bear market over the last few quarters, and possibly maybe this year as well. With the Fed saying, with the World Bank predicting this could be a recession and whatnot and whatever. Crypto has seen a small rally, I think, the last couple of weeks, but the rest of the year seems uncertain, right? But irrespective, companies that build in the bear market are the strong ones, right? So it's great to know that you guys are still building in this bear market, irrespective of whatever's happened. But yeah, excited to see your updates and let the community know what you guys have been working on.
Perfect. So the first and foremost is, as a refresher, Forward is WordPress for Web 3.0. People are able to deploy their dApps, blockchains, and subnets on a no-code interface. So we have done over 1,117 chain integrations so far. By far, we have the highest chain integration in the market. So which ideally means someone can deploy their dApp in any chain and go live without having to struggle and figure and RPCs and things like that. And at this point in time, we are live on the Solidity-based chains, and our integration for Rust, Go, Cosmos, and Python are on their way. So once that happens, again, we would be having the most cross-chain and cross-language chain integrations live in the space. One more area that might be of interest for many of you is the AI part, because AI is making its rounds, and we have the AI integration upcoming to enable developers to make their life easier in the process of monetizing their contracts and their work. The couple of key areas is also on the which I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. So as you can see, with more and more integration of these languages coming up, it is going to place Forward in a beautiful position in the space and a great competitive advantage as well. We even recently had discussion with guys from Aptos. We posted the image in the community, and Move language is something that we are adding in right after the Rust integration. And we are closely working with few top chains from Ton Network to guys like Aptos and Sui and Cardano and few of those established old chains, where we're aligning ourselves with their vision, their journey. So Forward is putting itself in a beautiful spot of being there, working with all the important fast movers in the space and giving them what they want, which also gives Forward the edge from them and in their respective ecosystems. So if you look at where we stand right now, the ability for us to deploy dApps, not only the contracts, but even the front end is already live. You'll be looking at all of that live in the next few minutes. And we have quite a lot of templates in the marketplace. So you can pretty much check this part out where this is right after you log in the factory, and you're able to see from the place where a developer is adding his contracts to the marketplace where every template options are available. At this point, we are pushing 30 templates live in the upcoming days as the product rolls out for beta users and public users as well. So these are, again, to reiterate, not just the smart contract, but it comes with its front end, which is revolutionary in the space, because if someone only has access to the the contract, they still have to hire a developer and talk about integrating it with their front end, which becomes a problem. And that's something that we have already resolved here. So as you look at what and as a higher level that we're building, we are removing the chain integration needs on the developer side, on the chain side, by making it completely automatic. And that is, again, where we don't have to go and say we are integrating with chain A, chain B separately. But with this auto chain integration, we can go live on every chain where this language is supported instantaneously. And the developers are able to monetize on this because they are adding the templates from their side. They are able to set their fee structures, which you'll see in the demo as well. And as they set their fees, they can earn from this. Any developer who has created any kind of code base from smart contracts to applications right now will start selling it to a larger audience and profit from that journey as well. So coming back, I am just going to, so we will jump right to the demo right now, where we'll go through the product in both the developer side and user side. And I'll have a few more comments to share right after. So Billy, can you share from your side?
Fantastic. Okay, so just making sure everyone can see my screen right now. Right. So when you first log in, this is obviously what you're going to get. You're going to need to connect your wallet. So it'll go through MetaMask and obviously try and connect. Just bear with me.
So this is what we're seeing here is basically the work in progress product, or is this like a proof of concept?
So this product is basically at the stage where we are actively improving features that are already competing with other market competitors. So most of the stuff that's in here is either on par or improved upon of current competitors that offer not just what we offer, but even just a little bit less, if that makes sense. So we're basically ready to start allowing testers to come through and utilize the web application as is at the moment. We've got all security in place and most functionality for them to launch whatever they want to sell on our marketplace. Sorry about that. So, for some reason, it refreshed my Chrome, so I have to re-log into everything. So just bear with me. Apologies for this, guys. And
so one of the things that we have been consistently doing at all times is to publish the weekly and monthly reports, because if you have been following our community, the weekly and monthly reports pretty much highlights every business development activity as well as the technological progress. Because end of the day, I am someone who believes that great progress can only be made if you do it every single day consistently over a period of time. If it's something that we jump on one fine day to create, it's just practically not possible. So that consistent effort is something that everyone in the team has established over this period, which is evident from our reports that we have been pushing out. It doesn't matter whether the market outside is in turmoil or whatever the case is. Development and our progress has never stopped, which has given us a stellar reputation in the community among our partners and friends. And we have constantly been extending support as well to the rest of the members in the ecosystem, both from the educational point and any other resource connections and network point, to build that goodwill as a project, as a value system that we consistently uphold.
Yes, I can attest to that. I don't think I've not worked a weekend for the last 6 months, so we are very active on development. Okay, So, obviously, what we want people to see here is the first thing they want to do is either upload a contract or use some of the contracts down the bottom here. But all I'm going to be taking you through at the moment is just our factory. So you'll notice everything here is incredibly streamlined. So when we go into a new contract in here, it's going to basically just ask me to upload a contract. It's going to take care of the rest of the process for me. It's going to decompile it and essentially try and find the ABI and bytecode. So it compiles, decompiles, and you'll see that in process right now. So let's just use a simple contract here. Let's use a...
So just a heads up to give clarity that this is a developer side. This is not the user side. So users have an absolute no code. So here a developer is uploading his contract, his files to earn from that. So it is open where every developer can come in with any product that they have for any language, any chain, and put it out there and earn from it on a monthly, he can set his own fees, transactional fees, monthly fee, yearly fee, one-time fee, any fee model. We don't limit them. So we are a pure open ecosystem for both the developers and the users. So if a developer is uploading a particular product and another developer has a product which is better in features, they can compete. And if someone has something better in price, they can compete. So it's similar to the WordPress plugin directory or any marketplace for that matter. And that openness is something that makes us very different from anyone else in the space because it is left for the best code, the best developer, and the best business model out there to perform in this environment.
Yeah. That being said, we are still going to provide some templates available for people to get started, as we want people that are not only developers but users coming through as well. But we'll get into that in a second because I'll show you on the marketplace. So anyway, as a developer, if I'm coming through here, I've already got a contract ready to go. I upload the contract, I save it, and then it should automatically compile my ABI and bytecode. As you can see, it's almost instantaneous the way it compiles, so it's incredibly efficient for anybody to come through and use. Now, I guess continuing on that trend at the moment, it's also going to pull
really, what I like to add here is that if it's a matter of just uploading a contract and deploying it, that is relatively simpler. But what we're really doing here is understanding a contract, reading a contract and compiling it,
Correct.
Which makes it great for what we're upcoming next. One of the future milestone for us is our own network with the Diamond contract, EIP 2535. With that deployment on our side, we would be the largest user of the Diamond contract system, through which an user can update a specific function on their application. A developer can push updates to the same contracts without someone having to remove the contract and re-upload or any of that. It is going to make the entire ecosystem pretty dynamic, because at that point in time, think about it like any other software. You have your software up, you have your dApp up, and one particular function gets updated by your explicit choice transparently in a decentralized manner. And that can only happen if the Forwards framework and the network is able to understand all the different functions in a contract. So reading and understanding, comprehending that is an exceptionally hard part, which is why it has never been done before. Uploading.
I will pause you there for a second. It's key because it's better if I show that actually on the next step. So if I click on save right now, you'll see that it automatically generates everything to do with the contract, which someone can actually come through and then assign functions and assign names directly to the contract, which, if we go on to the next stage after this, you'll see it gets automatically compiled into a template format. But as Key was saying, that's correct. If people need to update their contracts instead of having to re-upload their contracts, I mean, if they really wanted to re-upload their contracts, they can, because our system can handle it, because it is completely dynamic. It is basically almost part AI already, because it understands and it iterates through every single type of Solidity contract and every type of Solidity function, including constructor arguments, and can basically take any type of intake for Solidity right now. And we are implementing that for Rust as well as Python and Go. But this is a test case that everybody can use at the moment. So if you want to continue that key, you can, or I can continue on with the demo.
No, just go ahead. Let's just show them how to add something to the marketplace.
Perfect. So what I want to do here is essentially I want to have something here that will be usable in the marketplace. So I want to name things here that people can actually understand how this is deployed. So, for instance, in the name section here, I would say this is the name of your coin, and this is the symbol of your coin. And then
so the developer basically is creating names. The developer is putting in names that a normal user who has no idea of blockchain, who doesn't understand coding, who doesn't understand any of these functions, can actually read, okay, so this is where I put the name of my coin. That's it. It's clear. It's in English terms, which is understandable for any normal person.
Whoa. Excellent, yeah. Press control there. So I put in here my test coin. I'm just putting some default values in here so people can also see. So if I put in why is it not typing? There we go. MTC or something like that here. Now, for the purposes of progressing this along, I'm just going to copy these functions over here, so we don't take too long on actually showing all the details here. But I know what these functions do, so I'm the developer, and if I want to clarify these functions to one of the users, I can, but at the moment, I'm just going to take their direct names that we pulled from the contract.
So what this really is doing, end of the day, is to give that granular control that only a developer had all these time to a normal user, which is which is revolutionary in my view. And now we come for the front-end builders. Yes,
so these are our builders here. Now, if someone just wants to make a single application, obviously because this is an ERC20 contract, they can make it an application that just runs through our My Application section. However, if someone wants to make this a web page with both a front end and a back end, and they want to choose hosts, they want to choose databases, all that sort of thing, we can create a front end for the user interface, and then we can create a back end for the admin interface. Now, I've already got some free code here, which I'm just going to utilize at the moment. So I can create a front end and a back end automatically, rather than having to spend obviously some time here creating it through the template interface. It saves your code automatically every single time. So that means I can just come through here, and if I am a developer, this is really good, because if there's something that's not in our template editor, I can essentially just import it through code, or I can modify it. So this is an ERC20 token, as you can see, and it's got mintable functions here now with transfer functions, but I can drag and drop and I can do whatever I like on this page. If I want to add additional text in here, I want to add additional tags, I want to add quotes, all that sort of thing, it will automatically update the database every time I try and access something here. Now, as you can see, it is trying to update every time I try and type something. So we go through here and say this is my extra text or something along those lines, and then if I want to change this, I can go into general functions over the right hand side here. Well, after I select this, I can go into here and I don't have to actually add any additional code. All the formatting, all the CSS, all the styles can be added over on the right hand side here. Now I'm not going to do that because again it's going to take way too long for me to do that, so I'm just going to Control Z here and basically just delete this one here. Now, if I want to create the backend interface, I can drag and drop all the functions in here. I will just simply click on Save.
So the whole idea is that the developer is able to create front-end templates and a backend where a user can play around as an administrator after he deploys the application. So you can see all the fields of the contract are available here. Everything is visible. So now the backend is being created. So the developer can add video of him explaining every page, every part of the page. He can make it as simple as making it easy for a user to understand. So we leave it to the developer to increase that user experience for his particular product, which is pretty much how he can monetize on it. If his product is very easy, a lot of people will deploy it. And to do that, he needs to explain and simplify that process for his end users.
Correct. And I'm not going to click and drag all of these in at the moment because it's going to take way too long. But as you can see, every single function that we added before on the third stage of the wizard, we can now drag into our backend. And if you have a look in here, it will automatically generate the calls to the chain itself. So it will assign all these functions to whichever address deploys it, and then that address has ownership over all these functions. So I'm just going to save this just for the purpose of moving forward. And then we can add all the trimmings that we need for our marketplace interface. So essentially we can upload an icon. So if someone wants to see their face on the marketplace, or someone wants to actually have an icon in here, I probably want to just upload one of these ones here. So we've got an icon that's displayed on the marketplace. Then I can come through and I can set all the different prices, etc. So at the moment, I'm just going to set a one-time deployment fee, which is 100 USD. And then what's going to happen is it's automatically going to calculate that in whichever chain I deploy in. I'll add a description here. This is my description. Oh, sorry, guys. This is my description. These are my instructions. I can input a tutorial here, so I can say this is how you deploy, and I can also include a video if I want to. So I can go HTTPS. I'm just going to put YouTube here for now. But if someone has a video which they want to deploy, they can do so as well. Now, if I want to say create an organization where there's a group that we know actually produce contracts, like Open Zeppelin or something like that, we can actually add it in here as well. So I can go Open Zeppelin, and again, our database will automatically find that provider and link it to the marketplace, which you'll see in a second. And then our audit reports as well. Once we link these, we can pull audit reports from either off-site, or we can do auditing on-site for a fee. We can also select what category. So this is obviously a token, and then we can add some tags in here as well, like ERC20 and mint or something along those lines. So we'll go ERC20 and then we'll go mintable. Now, once I save this, I will release it to the marketplace, and then it will be a new application down the bottom here on the marketplace.
So basically, this is the flow for the developer on how their contracts go live. So for a developer to put something live, it is not going to take a lot of time, but within less than 30 minutes, an hour. Of course, if they make more videos, etc., to show, maybe a little longer, but in reasonable time, they are finally able to sell something that they've worked months or many weeks on developing and creating. So now we'll start looking at the user side.
Correct. So, I mean, I've even deployed one in about 10 minutes. So I know I had pre-code there, but it can be done in a shorter amount of time. Anyway, so all that stuff that we've just gone through in the factory, so all those settings, everything, then comes into our display here in the marketplace. And it will display all the functions. It will go through all the descriptions that we've added. It will include who it's made by, and it will give a brief history of who it's deployed by as well. Now, people can update this information as well to be more personal if they go into the settings in here, and they can add more information about themselves, like their bios, description, any links about themselves, resumes or websites that they've developed before, and personal tags. It'll also show them what contracts they've actually uploaded. But at the same time, that's if they wanted to display this on the marketplace. So we've just got that function ready and available. But at the moment, yeah, we've got all this stuff just as stock. Now, when I click on deploy, you're going to see pre-made marketplace here. And again, you're going to see everything in here that we've just gone through. So I'll save this. And the good thing about this is the back end is already made, so I don't have to go through and click and drag all these through. Click on save as the user.
Can you also show them how they are changing the colors and etc. a little more on the front end, so they get a better idea?
So if someone wants to also customize this, obviously, and they want to go my ERC20 token or something along those lines, my ERC20 token, they want to change the background. Let's go into general. And then we'll go background color. We can change the background color, maybe make it red or something along those lines. We could even change basically anything that exists in here. If we want to change the background of this to another color, like black, and just customize this. If we want to drop some kind of image or some kind of logo in here as well, we can do so. So we'll go into the
So end goal is that they are able to use the front end to get their whole branding, everything aligned for each of the contracts. So they don't need to depend on any developer, spend any time and money on it. It's as simple as Canva, Wix, anything else that you've used in the past. So you can just get to life, any and everything yourself. Just think about the amount of money that will save in the space. So many
and deployment time as well.
And the deployment time as well, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if I chuck something in like this image here, and then I can just add it in, or I can move it around if I need to, you know, that sort of thing. So I can really do anything that I want to, and if I want to customize the code, it automatically generates the code that I've already chucked in here. So if I need to make tweaks to that, obviously as a user you probably won't do that, but it still is available for someone to do that if they want to. So anyway, we'll click on save, we'll move on to the next point, which is just changing the settings of your contract here and making sure that it deploys on the network the way you want it to. So again, this upload icon here is mainly for the IPFS. So those are the logos that you see on explorers and blockchains. So if I go in here, this is optional, but I am going to upload one at the moment, just so when I upload this to the chain, everybody can see that this is actually on the chain at the moment. So let's just open up the forward one here. I'm going to call this my test ERC, and the reason I'm putting this in here is this is actually going to identify it in the application section at the top here. Next, we'll go through the application description. I'm just going to keep a basic description. My test ERC for MahaDao. And then I'm going to create a subdomain. Now this subdomain you can give to anybody and they can access the front end of your website. So I'm just going to call it MahaDao Demo ERC20. And it means that everybody that is viewing this today can actually come through and view this at the moment. Once I submit this, actually, hold on, let me just change the network first. I don't want to just deploy on the VSC network, which I think I'm on at the moment. Hold on. Yeah, I am. I'm on the Binance Smart
So I
Chain.
can actually show the list of all the chains there as well. That'll be
okay. It will take me forever to go through all of them. So I'll scroll through them at the moment. So basically,
as you can see, there are thousands of chains here. Thousands and 1,117 chains, I think, yes.
If we just keep continuously going through this list is endless. So for today, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to deploy on Optimism. And as you can see, when I switch to Optimism, it's automatically going to prompt us to connect to the Optimism network to deploy to it. So we'll just wait for that to happen through MetaMask. But yeah, any network that's EVM compatible, we can deploy on. So we'll switch this over to Optimism. Great, and there's even all Optimism's test chains in here as well, as you can see. I'll submit this one here. This is the fee that we agreed. Now, with this particular contract, this one's not 100 USD, thank God, because I don't want to have to pay $100 USD to deploy this demo contract. This one's actually percentage based. So this one's going to be based on a percentage of the gas fee. So as you can see here, here's the gas fee, and it's basically just 10 times that amount at the moment, or 100, I think it's 1,000%, I think. So you can set that percentage if you're a developer, and it will be based on a gas fee. It can be based on a monthly fee, or it can be based on a one-time deployment fee, or it can be multiple at the same time. You can have a one-time deployment and ongoing transactions. So every single transaction that occurs on that website or on the subdomain, the developer then gets a piece of it. So after that's done,
I think, Billy, because of security reasons, the MetaMask window is not shown here. Just letting the users know. So basically, Billy is having the MetaMask screen and explaining it to you on that. So he's just progressing to deploy right now.
Yeah. Also,
Yes. Sorry.
do you think we could also, get to the questions as well?
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we have deployed the dApp, and that's pretty much it. So
That's it. That's the
the
deploy
user
app,
can
yeah.
see it on the front end right now, with the entire front end visible available for user to use, and their backend admin functions as well. So we just wanted to show this both the developer and the user side demo. So I think we'll get to the part of questions as well right now.
So I
Yeah,
have,
so if anyone wants to visit this website now, they can. But yeah, I didn't know MetaMask wasn't showing, so apologies for that.
that's okay.
Thank you so much for the demo, Billy. Now we'll
No worries.
jump on to the next segment.
Yeah. So we have some
Perfect.
interesting stuff here. So of course, thank you, Billy, for that demo. So basically, you guys have been building, over the course of this year, and I'm sure that you will continue to build as time moves on, right? And I've accumulated some questions from the community, which we will sort of ask, right? So one of them is, Maha chain. So Maha itself, we have our own blockchain that is also coming out, right? So would it become easy for people to deploy stuff, with Forward on Maha chain?
Yes, right away.
Yes, that was, of course, yeah.
Awesome.
So
So-
your users can actually use all the templates available in the library, and they can start deploying, building anything. So if you MahaChain has a specific objective or a target, so if you say you want to target a specific kind of business user, then having the template in the marketplace, they can deploy it 1,000,000 times. So every user can deploy it. A good example is Polygon with their reward point system. So that is what they've been targeting. So the moment the reward point template is there, they can deploy that for every client of theirs. So it's pretty similar approach here. So it's about aligning our goals and your goals together to progress in the similar direction.
Okay. So Avi asks is essentially, when is the Forward launch in exchanges going to happen, since it's been over a year since the exchange IPO? So I know that you have some exchanges already signed up on, but do you want to shed some light on that, Keith?
Okay, sure. So one of the important key factors that we have been looking at is to create that actual utility, not just the staking, but the product utility. So the product is here right now, and we are putting it live in the upcoming days, and we'll be onboarding more users and developers. And that is pretty critical because when we launch, we have seen projects that were only using staking as their primary utility and farming, and that causes further inflation, which kills the project. So the price of the token has to go down because the inflation is going up. This is same as the issue that we are facing in the macro world. There is more and more inflation. Why? There is more money being printed. So with this approach of our product being here and us working to create this demand, we are able to actually create a real need for the tokens, which will make it easier for the product and the token economy to sustain and be there. At the same time, the market is also a matter of consideration. We have seen how most projects that launched in the bear market are also suffering because of the way the market has been reacting. So we are also balancing both the product side demand and the market timing to appropriately put the product live in a way it's win-win for everyone, because we want the investors, we want people who have taken part in that journey to be profitable, not bleed right after the launch like most others do. So we want to find the appropriate time for it, and when that appropriate time is, it's very hard to predict because we don't have the magic ball. We are going to be looking at the user growth and the demand that is generated from our side to see when it is appropriate. We are closely working with exchanges because right now we have more exchanges than what we had initially had previously, and we are consistently working with bigger exchanges to sign them up. So we'll be working and discussing with them to find the right time to push this out. But we want to put the product out right away and then continue finding the appropriate time to put the token out as well at that point in time.
I think that makes fantastic sense, right? That you want to focus on the utility more and getting that live rather than a lot of crypto, which is like, mostly just hype and then utility or possibly utility after. And I think this question of the exchange listing or launch and allocation is something we have we have something special to address probably at the end of this AMA. But I think we have a few more questions that we will sort of talk about. So Marian asked, like, it seems to the community that the product is finished, or what stage are you guys in right now?
So the product is ready for the alpha release right now. We have been having private users testing it, and right now we are putting it for public and many other communities to test it. But of course, it doesn't mean that's the end. Like every product, it's an ongoing part. Billy, why don't you shed some light on the upcoming network in the next month and others? But from my end, I like to say, now you saw how dApps are being deployed. But imagine tomorrow, if you're able to deploy a complete blockchain. Just go there, you see a blockchain package, you click and you deploy, and you have a complete own blockchain for yourself up and running without you running nodes and validators, being able to hire validators from the marketplace. So that is the kind of development that we're working, which is again groundbreaking in the space. In the future, any business, they don't have to spend millions of dollars developing their own chain. They're able to modify the consensus go live, and they're able to create their subnets, their nodes, everything from Forward, and all of that in a decentralized manner, not having even our database. It's all going to be running in network connected, which would make us as the Web3, which should make us as the backbone. Billy, I will leave it to you to explain that.
No worries. I'll try and keep this obviously as high level as possible. But yes, over the next month, because we've spent so much time developing the foundation of Forward, we can essentially just start moving into features coming out. And one of those main features that's now coming out in the next couple of months is going to be our network. So our network is essentially going to be a stack that allows nodes to directly connect to contracts, but it's also a complete database management system. So essentially, imagine someone comes through and they don't necessarily want to launch a network. They don't necessarily want to have to maintain ERC20 and all that sort of stuff. They just want to rent out their server. So what we can do is we can install a node onto their server and then basically run any of the EVM, any of the Rust chains, anything that can basically be deployed through our marketplace through that person's node. They can then say, okay, well, I just want a fee for this. So if anybody wants to, let's say, host a validator for a particular network, let's say it's an expensive network like Solana, then they can go, right, you guys can sort out the funding for hosting this validator, and I will just charge a fee for it, and you guys can get whatever profit comes from the validation from running that on Solana. Let's say someone wants to create their own, again, EIP 2535, which is not...
Just for the, because we are running out of time here, we are constantly also publishing a lot of the updates on what is about to come as well on our socials. Correct. And so on. You got the hint of our AI, so that's something that's something to look forward to as well. But yes, we are looking at making this platform expand on a day-to-day basis. We are even having compilers where people are able to move from one language to another. If you are a Solana developer, you have a Solana code, you can deploy that on EVM. That does not exist anywhere close in this ecosystem. This is a solution that chains are really asking for. So now people can move from one language to another without having to recode. And things like that is what is in the works. And we already have done a lot of background work towards those things, which is beautiful for us. The backend is done. I mean, if you have a lot of time, I'm sure Billy will be enjoying to show the backend code and everything. But yes, let's move ahead right now, Steve.
I mean, sure. So I think just one last question, we will take it then. I mean, it comes from Signal, who says that, how will Forward make money from all of this, and how will that money go to the token holders? Okay.
So there is any money that the developer makes, there's a commission that is added on there for Forward. So if a developer is selling something for $1,000, Forward would, for example, make $200 out of that. So Forward's commission would be there on the monthly fees, yearly fees, transactional fees, and even the fees that the chains are getting. So there is an underlying fee across the ecosystem, whether it is an dApp or a blockchain or a subnet. So the more people deploy, the more money Forward makes. The more people use it, the more money Forward makes. And the developer also makes more money in the process, which ideally means everyone would be focused on making the product simple, easy, and efficient so that there's more usage and more revenue generated here. And there's a transactional revenue for the protocol. of forward that is also happening with every transaction in the network. Again, the same goes if someone is paying validators fee to validate their chain, forward makes money, and throughout the entire ecosystem there. So how does this revenue translate? So, we even have our revenue projections in there, which you saw in the slide as I was moving through for the first 5 years. But from there is the network is also constantly fed with a part of the revenue which is distributed to that network's ecosystem. And that is segmented into many parts. There is an developer DAO, which is receiving revenue from few specific areas based on the increased revenue of the particular developer earnings. So we are tying everything to an KPI. We don't want to be that blanket model where you just do everything for everyone. It has to be specific. So the developer DAO earns money from the performance of the developer community, and the users who are helping with the validation and staking, so the node validator parts, they make money based on the number of node revenues and increasing demand on the nodes. So everything is segmented. So when you have access to forward tokens, you have many avenues which are all business connected, business centric, to make money from. And that is not coming with inflation, because every place where you make money, where you're earning money, it is coming from someone else paying for it as a business. It is not coming from forward, in which case there is an inflation there. That is not happening. So either the developer pays for it, a user pays for it, or a blockchain who is paying the validator pays for it, or one of the other parties in the ecosystem pays for it. And that is the beautiful part, because the product is there and there's a value to the product.
Can I just quickly add one more high level? If any other chain has any sort of viability and is already making money on their economy, if we're just adding in a layer on top of that, we will be also making money off their economy as well. Obviously, providing the service of the node or providing the service of the deployment. So because every EVM could potentially be viable, we're basically piggybacking on all their viability at the same time as well, which adds to more value to our code.
Fantastic. So basically, for token holders, there is value that you guys are working on. Sort of see the benefits when Forward does launch.
At the end of the day, what Forward is a true and real business. Any real business takes time to build. You cannot build it overnight. You can launch something overnight if all that you're looking for is a market speculation, pump and dump, and playing around with just hoping and praying that something goes up and goes down. But if you're building something that's having a strong foundation, it takes effort, it takes sleepless nights for years, and it is a consistent process. And we have established that consistency over this year. There has not been 1 month that has gone without updates. There has not been a week that has gone without updates for all the members in the ecosystem. And we have been constantly showing what it is that we're doing transparently as well, to the best possible extent of explaining it in every step of the way. The infrastructure revolution is what we are leading. And if you have time and interest, please explore any other product in the market to see if they are even did that bit close to what we are doing. And that is the edge that we have. And all of this was not built with the $50 or $100 million that we raised. It was built with a little less than $1.5 million that we raised in the process, which I don't means it shows our efficiency. It shows how prudent we have been functioning, and how we are looking at it as a real business. We are not wasting money. We are not using the resources in the inappropriate means. There is no way a business like this could run for so long without the prudent way of using it. So that's what we have, real people building real business, which takes real time. Steve, can we also get Mitch to share a few words here? I think it's important.
Go ahead. Mitch, man, all yours.
Hey, thanks, guys. You know, when I sit and I watch this presentation, I'm so excited because it's incredible to see something actually work and function live like that. But for everybody that's invested, we really appreciate you being with us for the journey. I understand the pressures through this time. What I want you just to think about for a quick minute is just to zoom out. You look at the crypto market, the blockchain market in perspective to the global market. It's a pinprick. And yet, you look outside, our comparison that we always use, our tagline, WordPress for Web3, and you look at how many websites are powered by WordPress, over 30% of websites. There are over 50,000 plugins. It's a huge, huge market. And what we've got here is that exact functionality. It's almost at a point we can start accepting developers and users. And you and I both know, everybody listening to this call, the developers inside the space are a fraction of the percentage of the people outside the real value economy that's going to come in and actually utilize these products. And we're sitting on the precipice. It's been like pushing a snowball up a hill, but once it gets to the top and we push it over, it'll just start gathering momentum. And we'd love you to participate in the fruits of what you can see in front of you. Just do some digging, have a look at all the updates again, because we'd love to have you enjoy the fruits of what we know is coming as this product gets to market and starts attracting the users and bringing Web 2 into Web 3. Thanks.
I like Danai to also share a couple words about how she's seeing the chain integrations and the chain partnerships, etc. She has been the one pulling all that weight from all those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of partners who bug her on the calls and go through things. So Danai.
Thank you, Key. So yeah, just a couple of things I would like to add here. You already mentioned that we have over 1,117 integrations already in the factory. And at this point, we are focusing on EVM chains and EVM compatible chains because the languages that we're supporting, but that is going to be expanding in the future. And on the partnership front, we are also trying to keep up with this, and we really want to bring the chains to play a more active role in our ecosystem. We are already in talks with dozens of chains, and we're in close contact. We have a mutual relationship where benefits are from both sides. We have chats with chains like Polygon, Arbitrum, Avalanche, of course, all the other chains that you already mentioned today, Key. And even we have started moving away from EVM and into other languages. We already have contacts with Cardano, Near, and of course that is a multifaceted approach that is happening on our end. We are going for the mutual benefits that I mentioned from our side. We're providing an influx of users, and we are even creating custom solutions that are going to address the exact use case that chains need. And of course, they are more than happy to help us with our needs like networking, marketing support, funding. We have had a very positive response, which just fuels our machine and just makes us believe that what we're doing is, headed towards the right direction.
Well, there we go. Back to Steve.
Let's conclude. Thank you guys for the AMA. As mentioned again, so great updates from the team. It is a bear market, so that's why we are sort of keeping the token launch for a bit later. And of course, they are launching whatever you saw in the next couple of weeks or months. Or months, is it? Okay.
We are putting it live as soon as possible this month.
Yeah. Oh, as soon as possible this month. Fantastic. So,
literally, we're counting the days: 1 day, 2 days, 3 days.
But basically, do stick around with the Forward team, their Telegram, their Twitter, and do keep following their updates. And if anyone has any more questions, feel free to drop it in the Telegram chat. We will try to answer it. And and hope you guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, Stephen.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Nice being here.
Thanks, guys. Very exciting.